We're going to start now the webpage version of this. What time would everybody like to stop? This is scheduled for 3:30, but I think the rain is slowed down a lot. But whatever time y'all want to stop, just give me a hard stop time, and we'll stop then. Nobody wants to stop. Okay.
Three.
You get what you want to get in by 3?
It's really going to be about what the questions y'all ask. So don't ask any questions.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done. Nice presentation. Enjoy your group. What's that?
I'll speak to you, Luke, and follow you out to the parking lot.
He says that because we talked all the way up to Carlisle.
That's never happened before.
Okay, so let's start with a page, a website I'm working on, and I'll show you some of the hills we have to climb. Okay, this is the site I was talking about, and I showed a few of this last week. So this is the site I took over. This site was in HTML, which means it was just kind of a hand-built site. HTML, I mean, WordPress uses HTML, but WordPress is essentially a content management platform, a CMS, that has systematized a lot of the things that Google likes to see, and then a lot of things that we need as business owners. They've made what's called plugins for those things. So forms, widgets, the footers that are on websites that Google likes so much. These are all systematized in WordPress now so that you can work with them, but also implement them, okay? A lot easier than other websites, okay? So what would it cost you probably $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 about 8, 9 years ago? You can get done for about $1,800 now. That's the difference it's made. And the $7,000 site 8 years ago wouldn't convert very well on Google. That's the different world we live in now that WordPress is made possible.
I'm sorry,
All right.
how much did you say this website cost?
Pardon?
How much did you say this website cost?
Well, this website, I'll tell you how much it would have cost. This website is on a sales model. So I built it, I converted it. It's based on sales. So I get a piece of all the sales that come through the website. So I'm essentially, yeah. Well, if you can get traffic, it's good. If you can't get traffic, you've done a lot of work for nothing. But generally, I just finished a website very similar to this one. That one didn't have any special functions on it, so I think it was like 1,600, 1,700, something like that. But this is what you get out of it. You get a full navigation bar here. Okay, this is at the top of every standardized page. You have this navigation bar. Now, what I'm about to do is I'm about to put drop-down menus on this, where when you mouse over this, like I'm doing right now, it's going to drop down in 2 or 3 ideas at the most. I don't want a bunch because you get snow blindness with too many ideas. Then you've got a standard header up here that has a logo, so the logo is present on every single page. Phone number is present on every single page. This phone number needs to be one-click callable. That's another new verb that we get from the internet. On mobile. So when I go to mobile, I should be able to one-click call that. Now you can't on this site yet. That's one of the things we're fixing. I converted this site from HTML. So this site looks exactly the way it used to look, but now it's in WordPress. So I can put some other things I'm going to show you in a minute. But one of the big things in mobile that Google insists on, you will get deranked without it. It is one-click callable. So when I go to the site, I need to be able to open it up and go click, and it calls. It just goes straight to your call screen. And as a pro tip, Google doesn't demand this, but as a pro tip, every phone number on your website needs to be one-click callable. So on your contact, usually what happens is on your contact us page, it's not one-click callable. They just do it in the header on the home page. They forget to do it everywhere else. A backup pro tip, a second level, Ninja. I call myself a content ninja, not a normal ninja, because too big to be a ninja. You don't see any 6'3", 300-pound ninjas. They're all tiny. Or smaller than me. Fast. I'm not fast. And they don't make trees big enough that I can do, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, when they did the fights on the end of the branches. They don't make trees big enough because the branch has to be bigger. Then if it's that big, it won't bend. It ruins the whole effect. But use what's called a trackable phone number. Okay, a trackable phone number, you're gonna pay for every minute you use it, but every time somebody calls it, you know it. So it's a really easy, really inexpensive way to test each website page you have. You put a phone number on that that's only functional on that page. So every time somebody calls that number, you know it came from that page. That's the cheapest way you can granularly test. And what I mean by granular is just grains. You think of grains of sand versus the driveway. Okay, driveway's a big chunk of concrete, grains of sand are very small. So I can put a page, I can put a phone number on every single page of my website. Now that's going a little far. You really just need, what I do is on this side, I'm gonna be doing, so we got granite countertops, that's gonna be one phone number. Any countertop surface is gonna be, and really all we do is granite. So granite countertops is gonna be one phone number. Flooring is gonna be another phone number. Now we've got a hot type of flooring called porcelain tile, or wood plank flooring. I'm probably gonna use a different phone number for that one, because it's really hot and I wanna know when people are calling on that. But what happens is, any day of the month, within about 2 hours, it's compiled into a list of how many times people have called those numbers. And I can go tell which one's hot, which one's moving, which one's not, okay? So that's a really good thing to be able to do. And the nice thing is you can use that and forward it over to whatever number you want. So if this is the main number, which it is, all the numbers that I put on this website are all gonna ring to that. And the end user and the front end user are not ever gonna know that it's tracked. They don't need to know that. I'm not recording them, I'm not like doing anything illegal. All it's doing is just giving me a tick anytime somebody picks up the phone, okay? So, tell me, this will be a really good field test. Y'all give me your feedback on this picture here. I like a field test thing to find out if there are any problems with it, so I just need your feedback on this. If you have a house, you're thinking about doing work on your house, what does that picture say to you?
It says high quality,
Okay.
looking at the granite pictures. My own personal preference would be to have a little more white space. That's
So you
just
feel like it
my
might be a
own
little
preference.
busy?
Mhm.
Okay?
But.
I'm hearing a lot of, a murmur of agreement go around the
Yes,
room.
it's busy.
Like I'd rather see one big kitchen, like one decked out, kick-ass kitchen,
Right.
as opposed to like little teeny pieces.
What about like, you have like your slides, like you rotate different kitchen?
Problem with sliders have been very popular and they're effective on a desktop. The problem that you get into is on mobile. Yeah. Because what generally will happen, and this is another reason to use WordPress, is every current theme of WordPress is mobile optimized out of the box. Now, that's a general term. If you were here last week, you remember me saying that just because Google said it's mobile friendly, it doesn't mean that it's going to convert well all the time. There are certain elements you need on a mobile website that I can't really even show you now because it just can't do it on a screen. We're getting there, but it's not there yet. So the point here is that sliders don't work well on mobile because for a couple reasons. Number one, it's this whole picture that scales down. So all this writing, you can't even see it.
Right.
It's just one little thin line. Now, I will tell you, I didn't make this picture. My buddy did. And I told him when he made it, he got mad at me because it was his baby. This is literally an exact replica of the conversation that we had earlier. The example that I gave, it's about to walk out in front of you in real life. He got mad at me. Well, it took me how many hours to put that together? And that shows all the jobs we do and everything, and blah, 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 he's all mad. I said, okay, here's the problems with it. Number one, it's too busy. So you can all congratulate yourself. You're all professional web consultants now. It's too busy. You're trying to sell me 7 or 8, 9 ideas here. Most of these, I'm not educated enough to know. Now, I personally actually grew up building cabinets with my dad. I know inside and out what all those things are. The average homeowner doesn't. So you don't know that this is a backsplash. Maybe you do. Anybody not know that was a backsplash?
Only because I saw the canister,
The
what
can,
it is.
yeah, you see the can in front of it. But it's a little too close to really tell me the story of it and how cool that really looks. It's a little bit too close to the picture. So that doesn't sell very well, and it's taking up a good chunk of space. Now, where this granite countertop is, I don't get this whole picture because we're trying to squeeze this in with everything else, right? Like you said, I would rather see one whole picture. And what you would really like to see?
Some people, where's the people?
I think-
Family.
I cheated.
I'd really like to know that there's a human being somewhere that enjoys this. That this is not just this land full of people, land full of houses without people. Because there ain't a person on this website. There's not a person on this website. There is a guy down here that has a hammer in his hand. And he's married, we know that about him. And he uses cheap hammers. Really junk hammers.
Yeah, and I think he should be in the picture, because I wondered at first, are those stock photos that he just pulled, or is it really his work?
Right, and they actually are. They're actually working, and they do really killer. The thing, my buddy put this company together. So I say my buddy, I'm talking about two different buddies right now. He put this company together, and he's one of those people that you need to find in your life that make you want to work harder. If you're already you burn the midnight oil, I mean, you're a hard worker and everything, you want to find people who are more organized than you. If you're already super organized, whatever your weakness is, you want to hang around those people. My thing is I'm a thinker. If I let myself, I'll sit in a room and starve to death thinking. Because I enjoy thinking. I'm a philosophical person. I enjoy like extrapolating things in my mind and going to the ends of the earth. And I'm kind of an intellectual omnivore, so I enjoy all things. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It's going to sound like I'm making this up. I'm not. I am fascinated by how that door works. I'm fascinated by the fact of that casing and the industrial quality of that casing and what it takes to put that in here and the kind of company you have to be and be vetted to even be a fire-safe door. You see what I mean? Do you know how much money you can waste thinking like that? I have wasted a lot of my time in my life thinking about everything. So my thing is I have to get repeatable action. And I brought something for you today. Everybody recognize that? Somebody? It's a brick. What is a brick? Think about it. What is a brick? Huh?
Wet clay, dry.
Okay. But functionally, in a construction sense, what is a brick?
To build a
Building
wall.
block.
Building block. But then what is a building block? Let's talk about what a building block is. A building block is a scaled, repeatable, but because it is repeated already, it's repeatable. It's a repeated, relatively speaking, for this case, we're going to say it is identical function that makes your, if you lay these, if you do nothing else, let's say you have got a project in the back of your house. And every time you don't find anything to do, I can go out there and lay some bricks. That's not that simple, but let's just say this. Every time that I hit a lull, I can go lay bricks. It's a repeated process. At the end of the process, I get this wall out of it, right? This is what these functions are that we've talked about today. So blogging, building web pages on your website, telling people more, going and learning more about your customers. These are all scalable, repeatable functions that always give you results. You never can spend too much time learning about your customer. I was at court yesterday for a traffic ticket. And so I just feel like I have to justify myself. I don't know if I do, but I feel like I do. I was going faster, but it was to get around a guy who was driving dangerously, and the cop happened to see me when I sped up. That's the story, okay? That's what I'm going to go tell the judge. But I'm sitting there for an hour and a half, right? So I take my phone out, and I wrote a 1,500-word blog post on hardwood floors while I'm waiting. Why? Because that is a scalable, repeatable function that I can build my business with. Okay? That's what I want to get across to you with that. I have to have that for myself, or I'll sit and think myself into oblivion. So back to this. What do I want this now somebody has searched granite countertops. This is a home page, so for right now we're just going to pretend they came here because we're going to get one of the non-controllable things about Google is that you can't control where your home page ends up. If you're popular for granite countertops, if your granite countertop page is popular, it's popular because the whole website functions well. Google no longer ranks one page on your website. The whole website has to function well, okay? So if you rank well for granite countertops, the chances are the rest of your website is ranking properly. And then what that means is that your home page is going to kick back for these keywords a lot of times. So you've got to make sure your home page connects with your most popular ideas. So you need to have your granite countertop page. Ideally, what I want is somebody to search granite countertops in Flower Mound, Texas, and they go to my granite countertops page. But the reality is about half the time they're going to get both of those pages, and sometimes they're only going to get my home page. That's just reality. So you have to prepare for that. Remember, how many core ideas did we talk about? 3 to 5 core ideas, not too many. This is the reason why. Number one, people just can't absorb any more than that. Number two, they're not going to. Even if they can, they're not going to because they have options. Anybody remember how many options you have on a typical Google search return page? If I search granite countertops and flower mound, how many options do I have on that page, that Google page? 30. 29 other people are on that page. If you're doing your job really well, 28 other people are on that page. If you're doing paid search, 27 other people are still on that page. And they will bounce out and go look at those other people just like that. They have no loyalty to you. And you haven't earned it, so why should they, right? So, again, somebody searches granite countertops, I need to have a direct path. Remember, we're going from end use, what their state they bought, and I'm going to walk them back. And this is the widest point of the funnel on granite countertops, okay? So, they're going to come right up here to this nice shiny thing. We've done this right. Granite countertops is right at the top, big bold letters. I'm going to click on granite countertops, depending on how fast the Wi-Fi is. We're going to go to granite countertops. Now, tell me about this image.
I think that you never should use a picture that's so small, you have to squint to figure out what it is, and so I like the first one, and I like the second one. The
Which one?
third
What is first?
Um.
Oh, you're talking about here, 1, 2, 3?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
The
okay,
third one, I
okay.
can't really tell what it is.
Yeah.
Not sure about it, but I think the first two pictures are good.
And now let's think about this. This is all one picture, by the way. You have to consider this on your website as one picture. You have, it's a collage, essentially, to get fancy. I don't like this. Why do I need this? Why do you need this? Does this help you? Honestly, as a homeowner, does that help you?
Should he just put one big picture of his best work with granite countertop and have a lot of which colors you want?
Why would